Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Strixhaven draft. Now, I have not yet gotten a chance to draft Quandrix in a good deck. I mean, there was the one, I don't know if I posted it or not, that there was a power outage in the last game of the last match, which was super disheartening. But I want to draft the ramp Quandrix deck. So I'm going to try taking the rare here. Aether Helix is... I actually like Aether Helix, and Field Trip I think is a very good card. But we're going to take Kion and try and go Quandrix. Alright, pick number 2, we have Arcane Subtraction, Resculpt, Needlethorn Drake, or Fractal Summoning. I do want to take some Learn cards. Fractal Summoning is an excellent lesson. Needlethorn Drake is also an excellent creature. It seems very difficult to deal with, and there is a one-sided fight spell in this format. So I think I'm going to go with Needlethorn Drake. Honestly, Fractal Summoning or Arcane Subtraction, I could see any of these cards, but... Alright, I like Opt. Cram Session's not bad either. Reject, I think, is a little bit worse in this format than other creature mana leaks would be. Because there's so many non-creature spells that produce tokens and such. I think I'm actually going to take Opt, just to help get through the deck a little bit faster. So there's a Weather the Storm, a second Needle Drake. I don't like Symmetry Sage, but I do like Mage Duel. This is a very, very strong fight spell, especially because we already have a Needlethorn Drake. So I'll take the fight spell. Culling Ritual. This is a card I actually want to play with in Eternal formats, because you could destroy a bunch of eggs and make a whole bunch of mana. I think this is supposed to be sort of a nod at, like, Cadaverous Bloom, even though that, like, it's nowhere near the power level of Cadaverous Bloom. It's, like, drawing that comparison is incredibly loose. I'm going to take a second Opt here. Drawing cards and consistency, card advantage in particular, in this format seems to be incredibly powerful. The Silver Quill deck that we just played had a billion lessons and so many learn spells that, like, we were drawing cards aggressively in two colors that don't necessarily draw a lot of cards. I mean, black does, but white definitely does not. So Eureka Moment. I do like Eureka Moment. It's just ramp and draw, but I actually like the card, and I think I'm going to take it. So the other Quandrix deck that I played that, like I said, I don't know if I posted or not, drawing cards felt huge, because, like, every single turn of the game, you're just drawing towards the good cards in your deck, and then you play them. And having, like, the cheap cantrips and draw spells really fuels your Magecraft cards. Okay, I will take Fractal Summoning, because it is a lesson, and lessons are good. It's also a ramp payoff. Like, just making a great big Fractal is definitely a way you can win the game. Alright, there's Arcane Subtraction. So we do have at least one way to get the Fractal Summoning. This is not the greatest learn spell, but as a combat trick, it's not bad. Yeah, there's nothing else in this pack worth considering, so we'll take the Arcane Subtraction. I do like Charge Through, just another cantrip. The Quandrix Pledge Mages, as well as the rare 2-drop in green Dragon's Guard Elite, are definitely, like, if you have cantrips like Opt and Charge Through, you can make them insanely big, insanely quick. We will need to prioritize creatures, because we only have 2 at the moment, but we've gotten a lot of good support for them already. Alright, Cram Session, I will take. Weather the Storm. Could I play Life Gain Storm? It's incredibly powerful. We have a bunch of cheap cantrips. I'm gonna take it. Oh man, because even if we're on like 5 mana and it's just like opt Charge Through, Weather the Storm, if we have any of the Pledge Mages, they're gonna be like 9/9s at that point. I like this. I like how this is shaping up. We're just drafting Storm. I think if we're playing a third color, the color is probably red. I don't know that Dragon's Approach was the card, but we're definitely not playing Spiteful Squad or Fracture. Alright, 11 playables in the first pack, not bad. Come on, good rare. That's a good rare! That's a good payoff right there. That's a mythic. There's Karok Wrangler, which I am very sad to not get here. Big Play, Tangle Trap, those are fine, but we get Body of Research, which is triple green, triple blue. Make a XX fractal token where X is the number of cards in your library. Yeah, this is a card that wins games, so we'll take Body of Research. Oh man, I want to play this card in Battle of Wits, despite the fact that it's equally as powerful in a regular deck as it is in Battle of Wits. Um, Field Trip, that's a ramp spell. This is really good. I would be missing out on Frostboil Snarl if I took it, but that's probably fine. It is a learn spell, which is important, and we don't know for sure that we would be running red yet, so... I'm missing out on the elemental summoning lesson in that pack, but we don't have that many learn spells yet, and Field Trip is one of the premium learn spells. Callous Blood Mage, Master Symmetrist, another Eureka Moment, Springmane Servan. I think we take Master Symmetrist because it and Body of Research is definitely a way to kill your opponent. Eureka Moment is very good, though. So, we'll take Master Symmetrist, Vine Glimmer Snarl, so rare fixing or another Eureka Moment. Our mana is not going to be that hard, so it's not like I need the Vine Glimmer Snarl. I mean, I do have a double, triple color spell, but I think I take Eureka Moment. Elemental Summoning is the other consideration, and it might even be better than Eureka Moment, but I have a feeling the more of these we get, the more we're going to be able to, like, snowball. Alright, Bury in Books is reasonable as removal. I like Expanded Anatomy. Just because I don't have a ton of lessons yet, and Waterfall Aerialists, I'm a little bit light on creatures so far. I think I have to take the Aerialist. Oh man, could you imagine if we splashed the black-green spell that sack a creature, get X/1/1 pests, where X is its power? Oh, this is awesome. I'm super excited for this. Alright, in this pack there's Expanded Anatomy, Containment Breach. I do like Containment Breach. There's not a ton of artifacts or enchantments to destroy, but some of them are kind of important. Springmane Servan would help us delay and gain us life. I think I've got to go with the Servan. Resculpt is not a card I want to be playing a bunch of. Another Charge Through as our only on-color card. Yeah, I'll take it. Helps with the Storm. Also, target creature gaining Trample is good with Body of Research. So it's kind of a double good spell there. I'll take Reject, but I'm probably going to sideboard it unless I need it versus a particular deck. We have so many draw cards. It's going to be good. All right. Big play. I think we take Tangle Trap for the sideboard. Strategic Planning or Burog Befuddler. I'm going to need creatures. I can't just have card draw spells. And Strategic Planning, I think, is actually one of the worst limited options because there's less ways to utilize your grave. So I'll take the Befuddler. Sign in Blood's okay. Bayou Groff is okay as well, but we have like nothing we can sack to it. So I think we just take the Servan here. Square Up is technically in our colors, but I think Cogwork Archivist actually might be what we take here because we're so light on creatures and we're drawing a ton of cards. We may need to put some cards back. I'll take Claim the Firstborn just in case I ever build a deck with it. Divine Gambit or Reconstruct History. You know what? I'm going to avoid Divine Gambit as much as possible forever. Last pick, Killian. He's so good, though. Nobody ever drafts black-white in this format. Okay, pack number 3. We have Torrent Sculptor and Flamethrower Sonata. So the front half is a 4-mana 2/2 Ward 2. With when it enters the battlefield, exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard, put a number of 1/1 counters on it equal to half that card's mana value rounded up. Alright, this is definitely worth playing in this deck. Verdant Mastery. This is a triple Rampant Growth, isn't it? That's huge. So I think we definitely take the rare. Little sad to miss out on Elemental Summoning again. Nobody wants the rares today. Bury in Books is the most playable spell for us. This is going in the sideboard. Yeah, so take Bury in Books. We only have 9 creatures. I mean, I guess Body of Research is actually a creature, but... Alright, we've got Pestilent Cauldron or Restorative Burst. That's almost worth splashing for. Return up 2 creature, land, and or planeswalker cards from your graveyard. Each player gains 4 life. Don't think that's worth it. Professor of Zoomancy is pretty good, and so is Environmental Sciences. I think we take the Environmental Sciences. I know I'm really light on creatures, and Professor of Zoomancy is exactly what this deck wants to play, but... Regrowth? We can double body? Or double Weather the Storm? Oh, Decisive Denial is good, though. There's also Eureka Moment. So this card has high ceiling. The low end of it is like we just buy back and opt. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control, or counter target non-creature spell unless they pay 3. So the fight spell's good because we have Needlethorn Drake. Regrowth may actually table. I kind of want to take a Eureka moment, honestly. Because just 4 mana Divination is good. I think I need the Decisive Denial, though. Necroblossom Snarl would help us splash a black spell if we wanted to. There's Tend the Pests. There's the card I want to synergize with Body of Research. What are the odds like the Witherbloom campus stuff comes around? Probably not good, and we don't have enough creatures to sack anyway. It's just a hilarious Teach by Example. Oh, we could cast crazy spell combinations. I already have 24 cards. I think I'm gonna take Teach by Example. We're gonna go Greed more than fun. Hopefully these Scurrid colonies come around. Another Teach by Example. Let's do it. Pest Summoning. This is a fine card to have in the sideboard. I mean, I suppose I should probably take Waterfall Aerialist. How many lessons do we have? 1, 2. I'll take the Pest Summoning. It's a really good delay one because it blocks for a turn. You know, it gains you life when they die. Spined Karok. I'll take anything that is green or blue at this point. Okay, the goal is to Teach by Example and copy Body of Research. The real goal is to Teach by Example, Body of Research. That's the real goal. Infuse with Vitality, I'll put in the side. Dragon's Approach can go on the side, because you can never have too many, I guess. Excavated Wall. Another Spined Karok. Tend to the Pests came around, but I'm still not playing it. Oh, this deck is awesome. It may not even be good, but it's awesome. We did not get Regrowth, worth noting. This is like, we need to be playing 18 lands. Because we have 2 Explorers, a ramp spell, and then a huge, massive ramp spell. Alright, let's group creatures separately and see what we're dealing with here. Body of Research is actually a creature. We have Arcane Subtraction, Cram Session, Field Trip for our Learn spells, but we don't have that many lessons. We have Fractal Summoning, Pest Summoning, and Environmental Science, so we probably don't need a lot. Spined Karok is a good defensive creature. I don't really want to cut creatures if I can avoid it, though. You know what? I'm going to cut Spined Karok, Barog Befuddler, Burying Books. This has Reach, which is kind of funny considering it's a librarian that like reaches up for the books. And I think I think I have to cut one Teach by Example, despite the fact that I love Teach by Example. Gosh, can I just run like 42 cards? You're gonna run 41 cards and 17 land. Let's try it like this. It's gonna be fun. Whether or not we win, it's gonna be fun. So yeah, I'll see you guys in round 1. Alrighty, round 1, I would like to play first. Excellent, I will keep. So lead on island, pass the turn. Alright. Opponent starts Lorehold Campus. We'll go ahead and opt. Forest to the bottom. We need to draw some non-land cards. We get Cram Session. This is a sorcery, this is an instant. I think we wait on Cram Session. Opponent plays a Plains. Professor of Symbology, sure. They get to learn. They get an Inkling Summoning. We untap, draw Eureka Moment. Play a Forest, pass the turn. I think I will actually counter Inkling Summoning if they play it. Seems a little bit of waste, but like, they go to combat, attack for 2, no blocks. They play Hall of Oracles. Put a 1/1 counter on a creature, activate only as a sorcery and only if you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. Alright. Counter Inkling Summoning. We untap. We draw Kian. So we can play her, or we can Cram Session. I think we play Kian. It's gonna feel real bad if she exiles our Body of Research spell. I regret putting that 4th land to the bottom, weirdly. Opponent plays a Plains. Goes to combat, attacks for 2. No blocks. They play Dueling Coach, upgrade their Professor. We untap, draw Arcane Subtraction. So let's try and draw land. Charge through. Alright. Cram Session time. Gain 4 life. We'll get Environmental Sciences. Pass the turn. Now if we have to, we get Environmental Sciences and then Arcane Subtraction. Opponent has Quintorius Field Historian. They hit us for 5. We go down to 15. Untap. Draw an island. Play an island. I think we pass the turn and leave up Arcane Subtraction / Eureka Moment. Opponent untaps. The problem is we've been missing land drops, and we really are trying hard not to miss land drops. They play a land. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. I think we're going to block. Opponent going to get 2-0 in first strike. They get a treasure. So now we arcane subtraction. Make it a 1-2 first strike. We get fractal summoning. Okay, they first strike for damage. Then we kill their guy. Take 4. Opponent puts a 1-1 counter on Dueling Coach. Then passes the turn. We exile Needlethorn Drake. Unfortunate. Untap. We draw Mage Duel. So we can Mage Duel to kill Dueling Coach. Environmental Sciences. Get a forest. Gain some life. Play the forest. Mage Duel to kill Dueling Coach. Hopefully they don't have another trick here. I got the sense they didn't, or they would have saved their professor to kill our guy. And then let's discard, or let's exile a card to try and draw a card. Body of Research, no! That was my one big payoff! Although, if she starts summoning fractals, they're going to be 3/3s, which is insane. Opponent untaps, plays a land, hits us for 2. We go to 11. We untap, draw forest, play a forest, pass the turn. It's fractal time. Opponent untaps, plays a Lorehold Excavation, sure. They can make a couple of spirits this way, because they can exile a creature right away, and Quintorius gives them a spirit, and Lorehold Excavation also gives them a spirit, although that one's tapped. They go to combat, then they pass, make a fractal, it's a 3/3. They mill Faithless Looting, we untap. Oh, I forgot to tap Kian, that's actually bad. I want to say her name a million different ways. Okay, we get a land, play a land, and I think we're going to go ahead and just play out Spined Karak this turn. Then we can Eureka Moment, pass the turn. I am technically under a clock here. Okay, opponent makes 2 spirits. They untap, they draw a card. Study Break, they're going to tap our creatures. Am I just dead after all that work? Eureka Moment. Yep, alright. I should have just kept making fractals. But I did not. Alright, well now we know what we're dealing with. So we're going to go ahead and I think we just run it back. We missed so many land drops. Alright, I'm going to keep this. We get to start with an opt. Alright, play an island, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play Silverquill Campus. Put that to the bottom. We draw Decisive Denial. Untap. Draw Mage Duel. Play a forest, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a Hall of Oracles into a Stonerise Spirit. We untap. Draw Springmane Servant. Play Servant number 1. Gain life. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a tapped Silverquill Campus and another Stonerise Spirit. They attack for 1. We take 1. Draw another island. Play the island. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent takes 3 and goes to 17. Play another Servant. Gain 2. Pass the turn. So we're tapping out of our counterspell here. The next turn we can fight, and like clear the way. Opponent has no red mana yet. They Stone Rain us? You don't Stone Rain the ramp deck. That's rude. We untap and draw Weather the Storm. Man, I could have Decisive Denialed, Mage Dueled, and then Weather the Stormed. Alright. Go to combat. Attack for 6. If they double block, we can fight one with the other one. This is fine. So fight here. Hit them for 3, kill the other spirit, and then gain some life. Okay. Opponent untaps. They play a Lorehold Campus. I guess this does filter for red mana. We untap, draw Spined Karak, go to combat. Opponent taps creatures and learns. How dare he learn? They get a Spirit Summoning. Pass to our second main. Play the Karak. Pass the turn. Opponent plays a Plains. Spirit Summoning. Puts a counter on the Spirit. We untap. Draw Body of Research, which I really want to cast. Fight here. This is bad if they have another pump spell, but they don't. Go to combat. Attack. They go to 5. Woo! The Elk Victory. It's like Oko all over again. Right colors and everything. Alright, on to game 3. Alright, this hand does literal nothing but has a cantrip. And it has Body of Research, which I really, really want to cast. We draw Opt. Perfect. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Mountain. Play Lorehold Excavation. Let's go ahead and Opt. Cram Session. Yeah, I'll keep. They land a Lorehold Excavation. We take a damage. They mill a Stonerise Spirit. We draw Springmane Servant. Play Cram Session. Let's go ahead and get Environmental Sciences so we can make land drops all the way to Body of Research. We're going to save Charge Through for the surprise. Opponent plays a Plains. Stone Rains us like a jerk. They mill a Plains. We untap and draw a Mage Duel. Play a Forest. Environmental Sciences. Get a Forest. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Mountain. They play a Tome Shredder. And just attack. Okay. We take 2, go down to 23. They mill Pigment Storm. We untap. Draw Forest. Play Springmane Servant. We just need to draw another island and we'll have all the lands we need. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Hall of Oracles. A Blood Age General. No attacks. Surprised they didn't activate Hall of Oracles there. They mill Spectre of the Fens. We untap. Draw Spined Karok. Play an island. We can either try fighting or playing the Karok. I think if we don't fight, we're going to lose control of this situation. No. Yeah, we need to fight here. Opponent eliminates. That's bad. Pass the turn. Well, we just need to draw an island. Opponent exiles Stone Rain to make Tome Shredder bigger. They play a land. They go to combat, attack us for 5. We go to 18. They mill a Mountain and gain a life. We untap. Draw Forest. I need an island. Play Spined Karok. Pass the turn. Opponent's going to make a Spirit here, presumably. Yep. Alright, they untap. They play Professor of Symbology and get to learn. They get Inkling Summoning. So they cast that. They put a counter there. So they go to combat. Attack for 4. I'm going to go no blocks here. Okay, so we're going to actually take 5. Okay, island off the top 1 time, please. If not, we get to play a 4/5 with Reach, which should help block. Opponent mills a Flame Scroll Celebrant. We draw Weather the Storm. Play a Forest. Play Cogwork Archivist. Pass. If we have to, we can wait for our opponent to cast a spell next turn, and we could charge through and Weather the Storm to gain a bunch of life, and hopefully delay, then put them in the Abyss with Body of Research. Can't believe they Stone Rained us. That Environmental Sciences was supposed to get another island, because we already had all the forests we needed. Opponent Pigment Storms the Cogwork Archivist. Oh, crap. They put a counter on the Inkling. Oh, what? You can just put a counter on a creature? That's 11? Oh, that's so rude. I'm sad now. We were so close. We got freaking Stone Rained. I'm mad about this. Alright, well, I'll see you guys in round 2. Alrighty. We will be on the play for round 2. And this is a mulligan. I mean, Kian can just carry us, but also dies to a single removal spell. I am gonna try this. We gotta have some good top decks, and we have a lot of card draw. The major issue that we've been running into is not been able to make our land drops, so I think this is fine. Opponent plays an island, we draw Weather the Storm, play a forest, pass the turn. Opponent plays another island into a Prismari Pledge Mage. We draw Torrent Sculptor, play Kian, pass the turn. Alright, they Frost Trickster to tap Kian. We untap, draw Forest. Now I could just play Torrent Sculptor, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to wait and probably end up casting Weather the Storm after my opponent casts anything here. Because that way Torrent Sculptor at least will enter as a 4/4, and we'll get some life out of the deal. So opponent is leading on Brainstorm. Okay. Man, I hope they cast another spell too. Alright, they go to combat. Attack for 5. No blocks. We'll take 5. And they play another Frost Trickster like a jerk. Well, Weather the Storm. We untap. Draw Spined Karok. Play Torrent Sculptor. Exile Weather the Storm. Oh, it puts half the counters on. So it's a 3/3 at least. I think that's still worth it, because now we can block the Frost Tricksters. Opponent curates, puts an island into the grave, another card back on top, and draws it. Plays a mountain, attacks. Oh, I thought this had flying. I'm like, why can't I block? Kano, it's because you're a moron. Alright, we untap. Draw an island. Okay, tap Kion. We exile Cram Session. Play an island. Go to combat. And attack for 3. Opponent takes 3, goes to 17. We pass. So we're going to use Kion's ability to make fractals and block. Okay. Opponent curates again. Alright. They untap. They play Ogiar Battleseer and an island. They go to combat. Attack. We'll make a fractal. Block here. Take 4. We untap. Opponent is in the tank on our upkeep. Alright, we draw a forest. We'll go ahead and activate the Dean. We exile Field Trip. So we can start making 2/2 blockers. We can wait until next turn to play Spined Karok, because then we can activate the Dean and play Spined Karok. Pass the turn. I think I will trade this Torrent Sculptor for the Prismari Pledge Mage if they attack with it. It may have been better to attack into it and see if they would block, to put a little more pressure on my opponent. But because that way they might not have had a pump spell, whereas this way they could have like the First Strike learn spell or actual removal, that sort of thing. We could also double block the Ogiar Battleseer if they attack with it, because we'll now be making 2/2s. Alright, opponent draws. They play a Lorehold Campus, which, I mean, just playing it for the Scry late game is actually not bad, even if you don't need the color. Opponent goes to combat and attacks. No blocks. Take 4, go to 9. We do have to deal with those flyers somehow. Opponent plays a Kelpie Guide. Make a fractal. Untap. We draw Opt. We have a lot of good cards we can draw with Opt, but I think it's better to play the Spined Karok here. Pass the turn. Yeah, no reason to attack here. We're going to activate Kion and then create a fractal with her. Opponent untaps, they draw. Opponent has Pigment Storm, so in response, we draw a land, make a fractal. Okay, Kion down. We're going to 2. This is not good. We've already used our Weather the Storm as well. Opponent hits us for 4, we go to 2. We untap, draw Verdant Mastery. So lead on Opt, Forest to the bottom. We draw Eureka Moment. So play Eureka Moment. Not sure what we could be drawing into here, because I don't think we have anything that can deal with these flyers. But our initial game plan was too slow, and our opponent had a pretty good tempo. I guess we need a fight spell. I think we need to top deck 2 fight spells, actually. This is the only way we get out of this. Opponent deep in the tank again. We draw Charge Through, put a forest into play, play an island. Let's go ahead and charge through to try and draw a card. Where was all this card draw any amount of time earlier? Okay. I'm not going to reveal anything else, and I'm not tapping out. Okay, well, I definitely want Tangle Trap, because my opponent has flyers I need to deal with. And I think this might actually be a time to bring in Reject or Bury-in Books. I'm going to cut 1 Charge Through, and I think the Spined Karok. We'll try it like this. Yes, I know, I just cut a creature and I need to have the creatures, but... Alright, we'll play first. Body of Research, Weather the Storm, Decisive Denial. Alright. Well, if we can make it to 6 mana and find a way to get Trample, we'll win. We do have Weather the Storm, so if there's a particularly cantrip-heavy turn, we can just gain a ton of life and hopefully delay. Lead on Island, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a tap land. We draw Master Symmetrist. Play a forest, pass the turn. We have Decisive Denial as a counter for any scary non-creature spells. Okay, they play Prismari Pledge Mage. We untap, draw forest, play a forest, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays an island, and they pass. Alright, they could have a counter spell or a bunch of cantrips. Play a forest, play Master Symmetrist. It resolves, thankfully. Pass the turn. Now we really want to draw Island. Opponent plays Elemental Expressionist. Okay, so we untap, draw Springmane Servant, play a forest, Arcane Subtraction, we'll get environmental sciences. Then we fight. Oh, crap! Kano, you moron! If I hadn't played the forest, I could environmental sciences for an island. Oh no, then I still wouldn't have enough. Go to combat. Attack for 4. Like an idiot. Okay, take my opponent to 16. Play Springmane Servant. Gain some life, pass the turn. Man, they could get multiple 4 or 5. Spirits you control get 1/1 have trample and haste. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, exile it. If you do, create it to copy, except it's a spirit. Oh my gosh. Wow, I think I'm screwed. I'm screwed because I don't know how to play this game. We get an opt. So let's environmental sciences, get an island, play an island, opt, field trip. Field trip to the bottom, because we want another island. Reject. I think I'm going to weather the storm now. No, I'm going to wait and hold up my counter spells. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a mountain. Go to combat. They're going to bury in books. Yeah, we're going to decisive denial that. I can't afford to be redrawing Master Symmetrist here. I don't know why they didn't attack with that creature. And I actually think we need the Symmetrist because of the body of research play. I hope they don't have another bounce spell if we get this body of research off, because if they have another bury in books, we just lose the token. So we untap. We draw Cram Session. Cram Session. Gain 4 life. We'll get a... I think the Pest Summoning is better here. Really hope I don't regret not leaving up Reject. Play Pest Summoning. Pass the turn. This does allow us to trade up if my opponent attacks. They play an island. Elemental Masterpiece. That's pretty good. So they can attack. So we block. They upgrade this into a 4/4, and then they get Spirits. We untap. Draw Tangle Trap, which does nothing here. Wonderful. Pass the turn. Oh, it's a spirit, so now it has haste and trample and is actually a 5/5. That's pretty good. Okay, opponent plays a mountain, goes to combat, attacks for a lot. We block. We go up to 9. So how does this work? We draw an island, we play Body of Research, right? Then we have a 4/4 and like 24/24. So we'd block, we'd take 12. So even if I weather the storm right now, I die. Gosh dang it. We're still casting Weather the Storm because we have to. It's part of the ideal plan here. No, whatever you're doing, don't. Okay. Opponent gets to scry, we draw. Springmane Servant. So I guess it was better to hold on to Weather the Storm. We gain some life, we get another blocker. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Alright, we're dead. I just want a Body of Research one time. Just one time. Alright, we're on the play for round 3. And this is probably the best hand we've had yet. Nobody point out the fact that I've kept all of my hands under my own volition. Opponent plays Plains. We untap. Draw Springmane Servant. Play an island. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Plains. They play Professor of Symbology. And they get to learn Spirit Summoning. We untap and draw Torrent Sculptor. Play an island. Play Springmane Servant. Gain life. Okay. Opponent untaps. They play a Plains. Spirit Summoning. They attack for 2. Sure. We untap, draw an opt. Well, we really need to hit a land. Island is technically a land. Play an island. And we'll Mage Duel to kill the spirit. Then go to combat. Hit them for 4. Opponent untaps. They play a mountain. Heated debate. They kill the servant. They hit us for 2 down to 18. We untap. Draw Cram Session. So Cram Session, gain life, learn Environmental Sciences. Environmental Sciences, get a forest. Play the forest. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a mountain. Blade Historian, that's a problem. So they hit us for 4. We untap. We draw an opt. Play an opt. Forest on top of our deck. Play the forest. And I think we play Master Symmetrist. because this is probably the hardest creature for them to kill. Half that mana value rounded up. Okay. Actually, I probably should have played Torrent Sculptor instead of Master Symmetrist, but... Opponent revitalizes, gain 3 life, and draw a card. They play another Professor of Symbology. I think if you're playing like the red-white or black-white aggro deck, having multiple of this card is very important. Because it does crazy things, like get you Introduction to Annihilation. Opponent does not attack. We untap. Draw Forest. Play a Forest. Play Torrent Sculptor. Then we exile Mage Duel. Okay. Go to combat. Attack with Master Symmetrist. See if my opponent's willing to double block. They are not. Okay. Pass the turn. So my opponent is going to cast Introduction to Annihilation and hit the Symmetrist, because they can't use it on Torrent Sculptor. They play a Mountain. They go to combat. So we fight. We were going to do this in response to an Introduction to Annihilation, but this is better, because now we have an adequate blocker. I mean, I think we could have done this during combat even, because this is what is granting the double strike, and it's not when creatures you control attack, they gain double strike, it's attacking creatures you control have double strike, so it's a static effect, rather than a triggered ability. They rip apart. Okay. Then they play Lorehold Excavation. Alright. Then they pass. Come on, Body of Research. Show me the Body of Research. I want to cast the Body of Research. Arcane Subtraction. Okay. Go to combat. Attack for 4. See if they're willing to double trade. They are not. They take 4. Play the Waterfall Aerialist. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a Returned Past color. So they get to pick up a Spirit, Instant, or Sorcery card. And it would be Rip Apart. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks and attacks. Well, we are going to take 4 here. Go to 16. Okay, opponent gets to mill a card to Lorehold Excavation. It's a Pledge Mage, so we take a damage. We untap. Draw Forest. Go to combat. Attack. Opponent blocks. So we'll go ahead and Arcane Subtraction. We'll get Pest Summoning, because that completely locks up the ground. They take 3 and go to 9. Play a Forest. Play Pest Summoning. Pass the turn. So opponent untaps. 5 mana. 7 mana. Returned Past Caller. Picking up Returned Past Caller. That's pretty good. Somebody told me about this interaction. Because I definitely skipped over at one of my drafts. Just the fact that they can like repeatedly loop is very, very strong. We draw a Eureka Moment. So play Eureka Moment. Put a land into play. So if we swing out, opponent can trade, take 3. I think we do actually attack here. No, we don't. Because we want our opponent to play their other Returned Past Caller, and 1 storm count on whether the storm is not good enough. Opponent untaps. Opponent tapping, untapping. Plays a Tome Shredder. Rip Apart, hitting the Aerialist. They gotta pay for the ward, and they do. Opponent goes to combat, does nothing. I don't think with how many spells we've cast, we're gonna get much more value out of Weather the Storm, so I'm gonna go ahead and cast it now. Opponent mills a card. It's a Mountain, so they gain a life. We untap. We draw Charge Through. I think we're gonna do this just to redraw. We get a Cogwork Archivist. Play Cogwork Archivist. This should be enough of a target that my opponent needs to Introduction to Annihilation. I mean, they can play their other Returned Past Caller and pick up a Rip Apart, and then just naturalize the Cogwork Archivist, but 5 mana. Opponent plays Quintorius, Field Historian. They attack for 5 in the air. Opponent is very disciplined on their Returned Past Caller loop. They mill themselves, they don't end up attacking, which I think is wrong. They definitely should have attacked there. We draw an island. Play an island. Pass the turn. No attacks. Pass the turn. Opponent not using Tome Shredder. 5 mana. Okay, let's put... I think with as much mana as we have, I think we put back Eureka Moment into the deck. My opponent just disconnected. Well, I hope they come back, because I never got to cast Body of Research. Okay, cool. They exile our Archivist. We draw an island. Unfortunate. They go to combat. And they attack. Sure. Take 5, go to 9. I mean, I'm not sure if we have any ways to shuffle left. I probably should have put back Weather the Storm, but draw Springmane Servant. So play that out, gain some life. As far as we know, our opponent is out of removal. Oh, geez. Yeah, that's pretty good. I guess that was a reason to not be using Tome Shredder up until this point. Opponent finally plays their other returned Past Caller. They're going to get another Spirit this way. Picking up Heated Debate. That's pretty good. They hit us for 5. There's just nothing we can do about this. Like, I would have to draw Body of Research and our other Trample cantrip in that order. And I might survive unless my opponent has hard removal. Which is entirely possible. Yep. Okay. Let's see. Versus my opponent. Do we have anything that exiles the grave or anything like that? Does not appear we do. Alright, run it back. I would like to play first. Okay. We got some card draw, we got some ramp. So, lead on island, pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Lorehold Excavation, we opt. Weather the Storm to the bottom. We draw a Eureka Moment. Okay. Untap, get an island, play a forest, pass the turn. We're just going to hard ramp, I guess. Opponent untaps, plays a plains, passes. We draw a Mage Duel, play an island, field trip, get a forest, learn environmental sciences, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a mountain, plays an illustrious historian. We untap, draw an opt, play a forest, play an opt first. Body of Research, I want to draw. Eureka Moment. Come on, island. Dang. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a Blade Historian. We get hit for 4. Untap. Draw forest. So, environmental sciences. Get an island. Play Master Symmetrist. Pass the turn. The next turn we can Body of Research plus Mage Duel. Unless my opponent has like a Trumpet Blast and we die. I don't know what the Anthem effect is in this particular format, but I imagine one does exist. So opponent attacks for 4, we take 4, then they revitalize, play a land, pass, we untap, we draw Weather the Storm, play a forest, play around Mana Tithe, Body of Research, make it 23-23, Mage Duel, take out the Historian, we did it, pass the turn. I am not attacking with Master Symmetrist because my opponent could have Expel. Which, I mean, if they have Expel, they're going to Expel the Fractal, but it's just unfortunate if they do. Come on, you don't have an answer. Everybody knows it. Just scoop it up and we'll go to game 3. Body of Research. 5 mana. It's not good. Quintorius. Oh, you're dead. We gotcha. We untap. Draw an island. Play an island. Let's go ahead and Eureka Moment, just to make sure, like, if we draw the fight spell, it's extra. Put an island into play. Let's go ahead and charge through. Go to combat. Attack. Nice! We pulled off the combo! It only took 6 games! This draft is a success. Alright, run it back. Alright, we'll be on the draw. This is a mulligan. Oh gosh, this is a mulligan too. Keep. Put back Teach by Example, Cogwork Archivist. 4 lands, 4 drop versus an aggressive deck. I don't even care. We got the combo. Okay, opponent starts Lorehold Excavation. We draw, play a forest, pass the turn. Yeah, I think we definitely need to be playing 40 cards and 18 land because we just didn't hit our land drops most of the time, which was surprising. But we couldn't get to 4 mana in some of the early games, and then We weren't getting the right colors of mana because I never took a... what do you call it? Any of the fixing, like the dual lands, the tap lands, stuff like that. So, casting a triple blue, triple green spell just wasn't viable. But we learned. I'm going to play as Professor of Symbology. I'm going to go ahead and charge through because I want to draw a card. We get Decisive Denial. Going to get Spirit Summoning. We untap. Draw Field Trip. Play a Forest. Pass the turn. Opponent draws. Plays a Mountain. Okay. Decisive Denial. Counter Spirit Summoning. Opponent's going to hit us for 2. We're probably going to play Waterfall Aerialist. We draw Arcane Subtraction. Play an Island. Opponent plays a Mountain. 4 mana. They play a Blade Historian. So we take 4. We untap. Draw Forest. Play a Forest. Field Trip. Play the Forest. We're going to go learn Fractal Summoning this time. Well, I could get the other Sciences card. I'm probably going to get that off of Arcane Subtraction. Leave back Waterfall Aerialist. Because this way we can actually Arcane Subtraction and block the Blade Historian. Hopefully. Okay. Opponent plays Lorehold Excavation. Then plays a Lorehold Pledge Mage. Goes to combat. They're just playing it safe. Yeah, I gotta do this. So, Arcane Subtraction. We'll get Environmental Sciences. Then we block. I can't just keep taking a bunch of unnecessary damage. I was hoping they would attack with the Blade Historian, but they saw through the combat trick. We untap. Where did the Heated Debate go? What was that about? Oh, they milled Heated Debate. Okay. So we go to our main. Play a Forest. We're going to make a really big Fractal. And by really big, I mean just large enough to block the Blade Historian, potentially. Next turn, we can play Environmental Sciences and Kion. Hit them for 3 in the air. If my opponent has a combat trick, or they can get the Lorehold Pledge Mage pumped a couple of times, that's probably really bad news for us. Okay, opponent casts Thrilling Discovery. This is bad. They play a Stonerise Spirit. They attack for 3. We could trade, but I don't think that's worth it. So we take 6, go to 7, untap, draw Forest, Environmental Sciences, get an Island, go up to 9. We're just dead, aren't we? Because they can give their creatures flying. Alright, play Kion. Pass the turn. No attacks, pass the turn. Actually, probably should have attacked with the Fractal, maybe. Well, no, because then that opens them up to attacking with Blade Historian, and we don't want that. I'm going to play as a Mountain. Problem is we have 1 flying blocker, and they can exile 2 cards and make 2 flyers. And then everything has double strikes, so we can't even block and trade. 5 mana. Because if they just gave flying here and here, and attacked for 10 double strike, we'd have to block, take 6. I don't even think making the spirits is necessary. I think we're just we're dead. Okay, no blocks. We'll take 2. They mill a card. Plains. They gain a life. We untap. Draw Cram Session. Play Cram Session. Gain life and learn Pest Summoning. This takes 5 to activate. Activate Kion. Teach by example. Okay. Play Pest Summoning, though I don't think it matters at all. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. They play a land. They exile a Plains. Give the Spirit flying. Exile a Mountain. Give the Pledge Mage flying. Well, we have to block here or we die. Not sure what could possibly get us out of this. I guess if I, like, double Eureka Moment, hitting lands into a Weather the Storm, maybe I could survive. Draw Cogwork Archivist. That has reach, but I don't think that matters. Activate Kion. Exile Eureka Moment. Okay. Yeah, just 1 flying blocker is not going to be enough. And that's the game. Well, we got the combo off one time, and that's what I set out to do. So, hope you guys enjoyed this content. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined, and remember you can follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The last few times have been earlier than that. And I hope you guys enjoyed. You're all wonderful human beings. Thanks for watching. Bye.